I wish I didn't realize I'd gone live. Okay.
All good.
So, hello everyone. Whatever happened to the game? And today we're talking about the upcoming video game movies. And today, so to start it off, next week is Whatever Happened to Classic Doom, and there is another one where it's going to be rebroadcasting Starship Troopers in a collection for live streams. Moving forward in video game news, there is some cringe response from the guy at Gearbox about the cost of Borderlands 4, and is Marathon DOA? it might be.
Yeah, I don't know anything about either of these two, so this is news to me.
Yeah, so Marathon, it's Bungie going back to their old series of first-person shooters. You can get, I'm actually going to put it right here. You can get Marathon on Steam, the original games. You can get them with improved textures. You know, it's similar to having Doom, but it doesn't cost you anything. It's Bungie literally letting you play them on Steam, the classic games, for free. That's it. I mean, possibly to hook you into their new Marathon, but they're the Marathon. The Marathon was the FPS made by Bungie before Halo, and we talked about it briefly in our Whatever Happened to Halo live stream, and they innovated with some mechanics they did previously have on Doom. So that's more or less what it is.
Gotcha. Okay, and Marathon is just
it's just another one shooter. But
okay.
It's a distant reimagining sequel, and it's mostly the idea they just want to do. Their main emphasis so far, they've been saying, is multiplayer on PlayStation. Well, that's fine, but I don't feel like it's at this point in memory and well as it conscious and people's general conscience. And I could be wrong about the hype levels, but it might be dead. There's also a employee is complaining that she wasn't paid enough for her artwork to be used. So that's the other thing. But how much contract disputes play out, I don't know. So that's how it is. That's just the brief little bits of news about games so far. So we're going to start into our recap here, and video game based films have been released at an increasing rate due to finding a trend for media companies to capitalize on comic book films are largely in the hands of another company. Well, the success anyways. So it's something new to try and sell. This is right here is Angry Birds the movie, and I believe that was 2016, based on the Angry Birds. I believe Angry Birds is a phone game because that's where I played it. They might also be on PC.
Yeah.
So
it's just a little iOS game where you just launch birds of different types.
Yeah, I get at the pigs. So yeah, birds and pigs, whatever that thing is. But here are the earliest ones. The earliest time where they started making video game based movies. Super Mario Brothers, 1993. That's funny because 30 years later they had another Super Mario Brothers movie. Double Dragon, 1994. I've never seen that. I saw that it had Robert Patrick in it. Street Fighter. That's the movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme chose to be in rather than Mortal Kombat. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I'm while I'm here with you, I'm trying to get my XSplit working because for some reason I got booted out of it and I haven't been able to log in, and I'm replying to the guy right now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No,
I
no,
thought you.
you're good. You're good.
Then there was, it's okay. So then there was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. A lot of it's worthy of many memes, and the big benchmark for the '90s was that the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie was the first theatrical video game based movie to gross more than $100 million at the box office.
Even though it wasn't particularly good either.
Oh no, it wasn't. Even the choreography wasn't that good in it. At a lot of points, they didn't even get flawless victory right with Liu Kang at the end. That wasn't a flawless victory.
Yeah.
I mean, if you block, that means it's not a flawless victory, and he did that with Shang Tsung. It was a spike pit fatality though, but it was not a flawless victory.
Yeah, because the only one they had was the only like flawless No, did the guy punch Goro?
Yeah, Johnny Cage was the only technical flawless victory in it because he didn't actually have to block a hit from Goro. He punched Goro in the crotch at the beginning of the fight and then ran away. Then he ambushed Goro, kicking him repeatedly in the face until he fell off the edge. That was the only real flawless victory in that movie. Was Johnny Cage and Goro. That's it.
What about Johnny's friend, the black guy? Did he
Arthur Lean?
Did
Yeah.
he punch? Did he strike Goro? I don't remember.
Goro let Arthur hit him once. Then Goro just proceeded to annihilate him.
Okay. It's not even a technically a flawless victory either.
Right. But that was just Goro letting him hit him to just say, hey, I'm too tough for you. No, it's not worth it. So.
And boy, was Annihilation a terrible movie.
You got it right. I mean, it was, how do you put it? It was even worse, but
an atrocity, like
yeah.
Like I still like subjectively enjoy like the fight scenes, like the one with Cyrax, for example.
Jackson Cyrax.
Yeah, but like beyond that, it's like the rest of that movie is just terrible.
I like some of the line. I laugh at the lines from it. I just don't think the movie's not good, but I laugh at some of the clips or lines from it, including what you mentioned right there with Cyrax versus Jack. Now we're early 2010s, 2020s. Okay, yeah. So 2000s wasn't much. There was Resident Evil being the first one to be over 200 million. The other Resident Evil movies didn't do quite as well. Then there's 2010s where Prince of Persia: Sands of Time by Disney was the first to gross over 300 million. And 2023, Super Mario Brothers is the first one to be over 1 billion in terms of box office. Technically, Detective Pikachu and Mario and Sonic, not Mario, but Sonic were successful, but they didn't have the raw numbers. But given their lower budgets that they managed to pull off with them, they were technically successful. Minecraft this year came close to the 1 billion mark with 930.1 million for its theatrical run. So I'm going to be pulling this up, but today we're going to be talking about what do we expect up through 2027. So I'm going to get a window open and we're going to look at the whole list along with cracking our little humor here as we see it. Yeah. I mean, the way I felt about the Minecraft movie is similar to the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's something that my kids obviously got the plenty of the references on the that they were showing in the movie, and I got some of the more adult humor in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up, share the window, and we will take a look and praise or mock as we see fit.
Yeah. I think the better movie overall of those two was Sonic 3. That Minecraft movie is just such a bland mess.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel that Sonic 3 had, it had those references thrown in there, but there were some parts of it I didn't get. I guess I had to watch a streaming series to understand what the whole Knuckles hid an emerald somewhere. That must have been a streaming series about Knuckles or Sonic or something, because Knuckles said he had the emerald hidden with that guy out in the middle of nowhere, and Sonic went to go get it steal it from him.
Well, I tried.
Yeah. I do feel a lot of the voices for the Sonic movies were pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt that I have liked the voice of Knuckles and how it's, how in contrast to Sonic, he's got a deep voice compared to Sonic's more high pitch. Yeah. Okay, so here we are. I've got it here. This is hilarious. So there's multiple years in a row of Uwe Ball having movies to his name. House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark. Oh wait. So we missed one. Never mind.
I did not understand Alone in the Dark at all.
Oh, trust me, if you played the games on DOS, you'd actually understand them, because they actually have, various books you can pick up in the game telling you, oh, okay. And this is just the live action video game movies column. There's a separate one for animated. But so let's see. Let's see. 2005 Uwe Ball, 2006 Uwe Ball, 2007 Uwe Ball. What the heck?
Yeah, he found some odd loophole where he could make all kinds of different movies basically for nothing, and when they failed, almost inevitably, he could write them off as taxes, so he could make his movies and then didn't give a crap about anything, kept going, because they're all so cheap that they all fall within the tax write-off bracket of 15 to 20 million or something like that here in the States.
Right. Yeah.
So he could just make a crap movie for almost nothing, and whatever profit came in from it was an automatic positive.
It's a write-off. Yeah.
It's a write-off. So because it's a write-off, they just make profit off the movie because, it's such a odd system. And that's why he kept doing that. And it's funny because I don't know if you were aware, he beat the crap out of a journalist in a boxing match.
Yeah, he did. I know about that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he was like, "No, my movies are good, and I'll fight you for it." And
he even did that scene. I mean, I've only actually watched it as a clip on YouTube, but there's a scene in Postal where he outright mocks the creator of Postal by having the creator of Postal say your movie sucks.
Mm-hmm.
This is right in the middle of the movie, and then eventually he shoots the guy played by Uwe Ball, and then it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mocked his own thing. So Max Payne, yeah, I like the series, but the big problem with Max Payne is, oh dang, look at this. The 20th Century Fox is taking a whole bunch of losses from video game based movies. This is all 20th Century Fox.
Wow. Oh wow, the dude who did Doom actually did the Chun-Li movie.
Yeah,
Andre's,
yeah, it's him.
Oh.
At least Doom had the first person clip from it.
Yeah, that scene with Reaper.
Yeah. So now we're getting a little farther.
Tekken holds a 0? Really?
Yeah, it's bizarre, but it's it has like everyone like said it was bad on Rotten Tomatoes, literally.
And it's
uh,
wild to me. It's wild to me how, like, all of these movies. Real quick? What is that middle column with the millions? There is that the
that's the
profit?
box office. That's just the gross. It's not the net profit at all.
Okay, yeah, because I would like to see the budgets compared to these and whatnot because, like, for some reason, and I don't understand why. Maybe it's just because Resident Evil is that popular in other countries. Because I know Resident Evil is like the premier,
Right.
zombie story, basically. Um,
The,
but yeah, it's like
as an
none
R
of.
rate as R-rated films, they generally were below 100 million in their production budgets.
Mm,
So it's
yeah, but
okay for them, but
like none of them are good though. Like even
no.
the first one is like seriously bad.
I I I it's like I don't like after the so when I forget his name, the guy who got a liquor his tongue up his brain and then he came back as a zombie. So whoever's played by Mila Jovovich axes him in the head to finish him. I am missing you no more.
In his brain. Oh, are you talking about the first movie?
Yeah, the guy who got liquored in the head. So, but then he came back as a zombie because the liquor had the virus in it.
Oh no, it didn't like just hit him in the head with its tongue, dude. That thing like
Oh, it mauled him.
massacred the dude. Which is weird because I mentioned it on stream before. It's like it drives me nuts that I've watched a number of these movies on Netflix just because I didn't have like the DVD version of them.
Right.
And I have not been able to find any version of the original Resident Evil. Maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. But they show way more of that scene where he's getting slammed around and mauled by the liquor.
After the
Oh,
liquor
dude,
drops on him from the ceiling, yeah.
yeah. Because like the scene is like every version of the movie I've found, it like the liquor jumps at him and then it hard cuts to the people's reaction and it cuts down the amount of violence. That
Yeah.
thing is like it's supposed to jump onto him, slam down, like bite into him, hit him against a column, smash him on the floor, and just starts ripping him to pieces. And like no version outside of like the original that I saw years ago on back when it was on
Right.
VHS,
They
you
cut
know.
away from it in most versions. Even
Yeah,
though they
it's
show
like
people getting sliced by lasers earlier, that's another point.
yeah, that's totally fine. This is goofy. It's just like I haven't been able to find the version that's like complete. It's the same thing with Doom. It's like the version on Netflix like cuts out and cuts down the amount of um the guy in the toilet stall when he's trying to
Yeah.
record and send a message saying, "Hey, open the portal. We need help." They cut like that whole conversation and his ass beating like completely out of the movie. I'm like, why? This is actually
Why?
necessary to the story, people.
Right. And I was slightly distracted. I was looking at the whole difference between the the first Hitman movie with Timothy Oliphant, and then
Mm.
the second one is like even worse. Did even worse. But yeah, then there's Warcraft, the Warcraft movie. Oh,
If I ever did like a giant breakdown of that one, I would lose my mind.
uh, come on,
Like
you got to laugh at it at
uh,
points.
dude, I'm a Blizzard bitch. I've been playing Blizzard's I had been playing Blizzard's games since the first Warcraft. Like I have the old school manuals and everything with the lore
I mean,
and all of it. So when they screwed this one up royally, I wanted to cry.
Which reminds me, this is why I'm not buying a lot of more games on PC because they gave me at GOG.com, they gave me the original Warcraft, but I haven't played it yet. I think I'll try it eventually. Why not?
It's going to have quite the immediate skill curve because you have to like unlearn a lot of habits that you develop from newer RTS games.
I see.
Like you can only control 4 characters at a time, and there's no attack.
Oh,
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah. So you got to learn how that game plays, and that game is very, very old.
Okay. So let's see. Need for Speed. I didn't know about that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember it coming out.
So now it's the 2020. Well, almost there. Rampage. Oh, those games. It doesn't remind me of Rampage. Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Okay. Sonic the Hedgehog. Monster Hunter. Oh.
Yeah, and pretty much anything with Mila in it. It's like you could probably avoid it.
I guess.
But it was also a Paul W.S. Anderson movie, so it's like, ugh,
Well,
please.
yeah.
Ooh.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
So many problems with that one too.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
It sucks because that has more spirit in it to be a Resident Evil movie than any of the Resident Evil movies prior. But they screw up so much information and detail that you can't take it seriously.
Werewolves Within. Okay, so I'm kind of not surprised at what it is with the ridiculous box office because it's the film network. It was made by TV originally, and then got re-released. Okay. Uncharted. I tried watching it. Uncharted is they spend most of the movie talking about like where to go next. I'm not saying the lack of action is interesting, but there was the whole cargo net. That was just and the background was just it was just terrible how they did the background on that.
Oh, it's crazy how you have not only an entire game series to pay attention to and draw from, but you also have Indiana Jones that you could mimic, and they did both of them wrong. Just wild to me.
All right. Sonic the Hedgehog
I
2.
will be right back. Sorry.
All right. Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, Borderlands. Yeah, I mean, it didn't just Borderlands. It's just basically they took something and put the Borderland label on it. Minecraft movie upcoming. I'm going to skip to the animated. So Pokemon the movie. Hey, a lot of these animated films, all of them are Pokemon. Where's animated? Okay. Final Fantasy Spirits Within. It's just Columbia Pictures. Sony Pictures. Resident Evil Degeneration. Resident Evil Damnation. Moshi Monsters. Moshi Monsters. What? Heavenly Sword. Okay, that's something I've heard. Ratchet and Clank. This is actually a theatrical release. You're kidding. You're kidding me. Angry Birds movie, okay. Resident Evil Vendetta. Oh no. Angry Birds movie 2. Super Mario Brothers. Now that really. Now that's the record setter for now, distributed by Universal. But upcoming. So that's the new Super Mario Brothers. Angry Birds 3. Stray to the Moon. So this is a limited release. This is only released in Japan. Mirai Ninja. Ayo Oni. It's not the Oni I was thinking of, because Oni I played, it was a Bungie game. Let's see what else. Live action. Until Dawn. So Until Dawn was the one where it's a horror game where you have to try to survive, but you got the Wendigos. Interesting. Dang. Less. So, Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, I know more about the game. Let's see what's coming up. Let's focus all on upcoming here. So basically, you'll notice some of these are Nintendo, but it is a case of a different distribution for the different Nintendo IPs. So right here, it's Nintendo and Sony Pictures partnered up for Legend of Zelda, for the Legend of Zelda movie. It's going to be live action, and they're filming it in New Zealand. So, Return to Silent Hill. It's TBA, not yet. Another Street Fighter movie, TBA. Wow. So they made this movie. They made Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's the French-made video game, and now they're making a movie about it, or at least they plan to. It's in development. Untitled Duke Nukem, Elden Ring. Let's look at this too. Let's look at who. Legendary Pictures, okay. A24 for Death Stranding. Pictures. Let's see what else. You got to be kidding me. I have a hard time believing that Metal Gear Solid isn't dead as a movie. They've delayed this so many times. And the most recent, rather, was supposed to be Oscar Isaac. They wanted to also do Metal Gear Solid with Christian Bale. Obviously, that's canceled. With all the cancellations that Metal Gear has had, I just can't believe it. I really can't believe it. At all. At all. I can't believe that it's going to actually be made to completion. Horizon Zero Dawn. Helldivers to be announced. As earlier as I mentioned, that whatever happened to Starship Troopers, it's the same thing. You just have. Will that take away from the fact that they're making Starship Troopers, which Helldivers is heavily inspired by Starship Troopers? And let's see what else.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I was going to go back to what we had up through this year in terms of releases. So Sonic the Hedgehog 3, yeah, it was interesting. Although I'm disappointed that they're making a fourth one, because I don't know. It felt like there was a good climax to it, and I just feel the fourth one is just to add more of the supporting Sonic characters in.
There are so many more characters to get through. Like, there's no way they don't continue this franchise and just milk it hard for money.
Like Amy or Rogue.
Yeah, Rouge. There's Rouge. Right. There's the Chaotix trio. There's this like there's this like water or some odd element creature called Chaos. Like my lady's the Sonic fan. I don't know a fraction of what she does, but yeah, there's easily 3 or 4 more movies worth of characters and stories they could replicate, and that's not including other spin-offs like a movie for Shadow.
Oh yeah. So I looked it up when you were gone. Apparently they did it at Paramount Plus, and Paramount Plus is not doing well, by the way. A streaming series for Knuckles where he gave the emerald to the guy to hide it. But I missed that because I don't have Paramount Plus.
Well, that answers that.
Yeah, that does. Borderlands. Yeah. The movie full of miscasts.
I just don't understand why release a Borderlands movie now. Like, obviously, it was to help try to hype up the next game, apparently.
Right, because they've gone a while without a full Borderlands games. They had the DLCs, they had the kind of intermediate games where it's like the pre-sequel, the prequel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the movie was totally miscast on how they characterized people, except for the annoying robot Claptrap, but he's not much. Until Dawn, that's supposed to be the one where you have the Wendigos and you want to survive, but apparently that's not what they did.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Sandberg was thinking when he made that one, but that was rough.
So we're gonna skip to the animated movies. So
I'm sorry, that's that list up above the TBA? Are these all in?
These are in development.
Oh, why?
But they had there's so many. It's like this is just through 2027.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll get back to it, but it's overwhelming. But they did a separate category here for the animated movies. So Spirits Within, that was theatrical.
It's been so long since I've seen that.
So for Advent Children, they just say N8 because it was direct to video.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil Degeneration. This must have been limited release.
Yeah, that was a DVD release. I remember when that first came out because everyone was hyped that Leon was doing parkour. Like that was like the big selling point in the trailer is like the underground facility is falling apart one at a time, and he's just jumping and vaulting and sliding. He was doing what we were doing at the time, which was parkour. So we were like, we're gonna see it.
I see. Angry Birds movie. Yeah, I mean, it was something to pass the time and something to watch with my children and amuse them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Angry Birds movie 2, Super Mario Brothers movie again. It's the same category as Minecraft, just watching your kids and yourself. If you recognize the references from the various games like Luigi's Mansion or Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
Resident Evil Death Island. Okay.
It's supposed to basically be like the Avengers assemble of the Resident Evil franchise, and it's not particularly good.
I'm not surprised. So let's see. Okay, so it's Super Mario World next year.
Oh,
April next year. Okay.
Wow, they're okay. Full steam ahead.
Angry Birds 3. I don't know.
They're making a movie for Stray?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
To the Moon.
No idea what that is.
It's a decision making game, and it's like an all platforms game. So it's you're going up in space and you're making decisions on your trip. It's one of those games that works for pretty much anything. So you're not left out of the loop because you don't have this super modern computer. You can play it on your phone if you want. Now, going back to what is in production, live action.
Good Lord, that's What's Exit 8?
Oh, it's based on a 2000. I didn't hear about it either. A 2023 game, the Exit 8, posted by Kotake Create. Okay, so that's later this year, from Toho. Mortal Kombat 2. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just include Johnny Cage in the first one, but
I mean,
man,
he's one of the first characters in Mortal Kombat. He's in the first game ever made.
Yeah, maybe I would assume it's maybe because of trying to do the Cole character as the new stand-in, but no one liked Cole.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going back to Johnny because he's supposed to be the audience stand-in.
Yeah, pretty much. He's basically an actor who gets put into an actual adventure. So I guess you'd call it a real world stand-in for him that way.
Mm-hmm.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2. You're going to be busy You're going to be busy.
I
December this year.
I hate how much is coming down the pipeline because I know most of on this list.
Yeah.
Hey Brian, how you doing, buddy?
How are you doing? We're going over all these crazy video game movies that they're coming up with soon and trying to, laugh it off and not go nuts. Return to Silent Hill. That's what they were mentioning on your live stream, the second Silent Hill movie.
It's actually the third.
Oh.
Yeah, there's actually 2 Silent Hill movies already.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I think, the second one had a lot worse. Revelation. A lot worse box office than the first.
Yeah, Revelation is supposed to be the closer to Resident Evil, the Silent Hill games, because the first one was kind of like best hits in a whole new story, so people were like, "What the hell is this?" And then I suppose Revelation is supposed to be the more accurate one, but if Return implies that this is like the third movie rather than a reboot.
Yeah, so Claire Obscure of Expedition 33. They just came out with this video game, and that they already want to make a movie about it.
I don't know anything about Expedition 33. I know certain people are raving about it, but that's about it.
What happened, Albeleo, is they released this game. It had actually had a number of former Ubisoft employees. That's what really made it famous. Former Ubisoft employees started the new developer. But it sold in 3 days. It sold over 1 million copies, and the president of France gave it the good congratulations he gives other whatever French media comes out and does well. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have mentioned that this is like that French Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it did this crazy thing of it getting 1 million copies sold in only 3 days, and it was a relatively new studio with some former Ubisoft employees in it, and it was it was unexpected how well it sold, but they already want to make a movie about it.
Wow. Okay.
Another Street Fighter. Okay. Of course, Mortal Kombat 2. We already did that. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Untitled live-action Resident Evil. Sonic 4. Legend of Zelda live-action.
Zelda is the one that I fear for the most.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, why make it live-action? Just why?
I think part of it has to do with the fact that Miyamoto went around to find people to be the distributors for actual movies based on Nintendo properties. Universal said yes to Super Mario Brothers. Sony are the ones who said yes to Legend of Zelda, and the ultimate deal is that Sony is going to release it as a live action film. Luckily for Super Mario Brothers, they got Illumination Studios, which is famous for Despicable Me, and its many, many sequels.
Street Fighter movie is apparently getting some WWE stars to be some of the characters in the movie. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the crazy. I get that's Konami being Konami, but they keep re-releasing Silent Hill. But that's more.
Yeah, and apparently the remake of 2 wasn't like well received.
Well, they didn't like how they did the new character because the characters in the Silent Hill remake didn't look like their previous versions.
Yeah, I know. So the girl who's supposed to be like the woman that the main guy cheated on with is like highly redressed. But they also supposedly they changed a lot of the story, so it's not really like the same like traumatic incidents that he has to deal with.
Right. I mean, they did total plastic surgery on their faces, Albeleo. What are they thinking?
I don't know, man. I posted that forever ago, and people were like, "What did they do to my boy?"
All right.
Dead by Daylight? How do you make a movie out of Dead by Daylight?
I mean, it's like it's teamwork multiplayer survival, similar to Left 4 Dead.
Comic Zone. What?
That's old Sega Genesis. Okay.
They're just grabbing anything. They're just grabbing handfuls of things out of the barrel and pulling them out.
You thought it's crazy that they made a Borderlands movie and they didn't make a new Borderlands game in 10 years?
This is nuts. Why Comic Zone?
It's a Sega Genesis game. That's 30 ridiculous. Years, 20 or 30 years ago. Yeah, Braymore, the Sega game. Sega Genesis, that long ago. Untitled Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem. Oh boy.
I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of stuff in Duke Nukem that I don't think they want to show in a movie.
I don't know, man.
I mean, there was Duke Nukem 64, and I tried it. It is censored to death. I mean, they censor what he says to the Overlord down to, in a perfect world, you'd already be dead. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, it would be really funny if they were like if they made a joke about like, yay, at least the CGI is better this time around compared to like the 2010 reboot that
got, Forever
blasted into oblivion.
Yeah, Forever did terribly, but the thing about Duke Nukem that I just don't feel he's movie worthy is because he's poking fun of actual movies. That's like the main point of the game, along with it being a first-person shooter, is he literally quotes action movies because he's poking fun of those action movies.
If they did like an action comedy horror that had that had like the spirit of Top Secret or Blazing Saddles, I could see it totally working.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It has to completely embrace that. If it restrains itself at all, there's nothing that's going to work. What the hell is El Paso Elsewhere?
Oh, it's a here 2023 third-person shooter game. Players control a vampire hunter who tries to stop his ex-girlfriend, a vampire, from destroying the world. Inspired by Max Payne as retro. That's on Steam, I guess.
Huh.
Dang.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Well, there's a lot of Steam games, but I'm pausing it at this point because I have these games that I just haven't played. Like how GOG gave me the first Warcraft game, and I'm just like, I'm going to put this on hold. Aside from getting, Nintendo Wii discs, but I'm just on the point where I just have to play games I bought on Steam rather than just buy more.
How do you do Elden Ring?
I don't know.
How do you do it? And it's okay, so it's by A24, which on the one hand means there's a very good chance it could be accurate. So I'm
Right.
hopeful for that. On the downside, it also means they're probably going to give it to someone who has no idea what they're doing. So
Yeah.
I'm worried about that because I don't know, maybe it's just my luck reviewing everything that I've seen from them, but I have hated almost every movie I've seen from A24. They are atrociously bad movies at times. So I'm
Untitled.
here for
Oh,
Ring.
Untitled Metal Gear. Like this is a perfect
Really?
example of development hell. Like they've been trying to make Metal Gear Solid the movie for a while. First they had it has been turned down repeatedly. So first they thought, okay, let's ask Christian Bale. He went over to do Batman instead because the script was being turned in back in 2002. That's how. But then went into development hell, and now they tried to get Oscar Isaac to be Solid Snake, and that one's been canceled multiple times, and it was supposed to be out around 2017. So it's like good luck.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Hello Neighbor.
Yeah,
Really?
they're really reaching.
All I can the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of the Hello Neighbor movie is that scene from SpongeBob. How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah.
That
Also,
franchise went nowhere.
5 minutes at
And they're already
33.
heading
Like
out the door.
why,
Wow.
why? Okay, so there's three by Sony Pictures. Ghost
Ghost
of
of
Tsushima.
Tsushima makes sense actually.
Yeah, I mean it is a story
Yeah.
that you wouldn't have to be follow. Gravity Rush, 2012. Man, it's
Yeah,
another one
never
I
heard of
don't
it.
know.
Oh,
Helldivers.
never. Yeah, that's why I never heard of it. Helldivers. So
It,
just Starship Troopers.
yeah, more or less. Like, and they're also working on Starship Troopers at Neil Blomkamp at the same time. So, like, why?
They're making a Just Dance movie. Why?
Like, why? It's just where you dance to songs.
It, it,
Do you want to rake up a tons of copyright royalties to pay out for all the songs you want to dance to? Because that's how you do it in a movie.
yeah, that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be the Bring It On and all of those movies again.
Or maybe, just maybe, they decided, hey, let's do a sing along movie, except it's just dance. You know how they used to do like sing along on
Mhm.
TV?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we'll just make a movie of just sing along. But I don't know. That would make more sense as release to video.
Yeah, I figured they would make a sequel to Minecraft.
I mean, it's second to Mario in terms of box office for a video game movie. So yeah, Poppy
Mortuary
Playtime.
Assistant. Really? Is that the one I'm thinking of? At the top of the list right now.
Mortuary Assistant.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Huh. Yeah, I suppose they could do that. Outlast, really?
Michael Bay,
Pikachu Detective.
Outrun.
What the hell?
Yeah, yeah. So they're gonna do another live action Pokemon with CGI. Well, live action people CGI Pokemon like Detective Pikachu because
Uh, this is exactly what I said. I was terrified that they were going. Forever ago, I was worried that after the MCU failed, that there was going to be a new genre of movie to come out that everyone was going to start abusing the hell out of. And then the Super Mario movie came out and dominated the box office. And here we are. Yeah, exactly what I was worried about. Video game movies are going to be
Portal.
a thing.
Like,
I hate
Why?
that J.J. Abrams is attached to that.
But why are they doing Portal without Half-Life? Like, why? Okay. Untitled Pac-Man. Well, I see it as, it's similar to Super Mario Bros. Or Minecraft, where they're just going to have Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr., Mrs. Pac-Man, and just do a bunch of game references and have something about wider Ghost.
Like, do you remember the old school cartoon?
Probably
don't. There was a Christmas episode where like the ghosts actually chomp the crap out of Pac-Man and nearly kill him, and then
I'm gonna look that up. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, like there's an episode like there's a cartoon for Pac-Man from like the 80s, and the ghosts actually almost kill Pac-Man.
All right,
so many more.
Let's just finish this.
This is coming out of 2027. This is as far as 2027.
Yeah. Vampire Survivors.
What?
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Well, you could make you could just make a plain military thriller. Fine. House of the Dead. Talking Tom. Well,
these are all.
It's Talking Tom the cat, so it's also animated on Netflix, not just games.
These are all so obscure. Like, why Space Invaders?
It's an arcade classic, but I don't get it. But look, too, this is like Warner Brothers throwing out video game movies. So Universal's doing it too, but I mean, the one thing I can say is that unlike Marvel, it's not going to be like a shared universe, really. I mean, if you look at Nintendo, like the IP rights are split up because there's separate distribution for Mario, Pokemon, and Legend of Zelda.
I see. Maybe most of these movies won't actually last because perhaps many of them will fail, and if they fail, it'll discourage Hollywood from continuing to make so many of them.
Right.
Because there's a big issue with these movies is either A, they don't respect the source material anywhere near enough that they should, so it's not accurate, or it doesn't have like the characters that you want to see, etc.
Or you just don't recognize it.
Yeah, basically. Or you go to the opposite end where there's too much and it's only pleasing the fans without trying to bring in new people, right?
Right.
That's kind of like what the Minecraft movie was trying to sort of do.
It's pretty much for people who play Minecraft. Just to see, haha, I recognize that from when I played Minecraft.
Yeah. And that's why Steve was written to explain everything as, straightforward as he could and make all the dumb references because they had nothing else going for them. So, yeah, if like all of them are Minecraft quality, I do not see really any of these going anywhere.
Pretty much. I mean, the way it usually works is there are a few out of the whole that do well, the rest not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it goes back to our own psychology, where when you're faced with so many options, your tendency is going to be, well, I'll pick the few that I'm most familiar with and leave the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And the big thing that Mario Brothers or Minecraft has is recognition. They're known worldwide. Minecraft has sold more units than any other game has. And Super Mario Brothers, it's been around for 80s and they're known the world over.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these, I'm not an expert on what's obscure or not, but I do feel that things like when I'm looking at comics, which is a Sega Genesis game, I just don't see where the hype for that is.
Yeah, that was just
it's been in obscurity for so long.
I don't think Comic Zone had a sequel.
No. Or what's another one? I mean, Duke Nukem, I don't feel that there's the hype there. I could be wrong, but you know, the last attempt they made at a Duke Nukem game was 2010 with Forever, and that sold terribly. I mean, most of the interest should be older people, you know, who at least played the game or played the anniversary edition with Steam.
Mm-hmm.
What's another one that where I'm worried? I mean, Street Fighter, that's well known, but so far the movies made about it haven't done well.
Yeah, no, there's just the one Comics Zone game. That's it. Like,
yeah, on Sega Genesis, almost
yeah,
30 years ago.
that's it. Single player beat 'em up from '95. That's it.
I mean, Portal's fun and all, but how many of you in the audience know about what Portal is? It's what Valve did back when they actually made their own games.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that happens parallel to Half-Life and Half-Life 2, but I mean, it's a fun game. It's fun it's puzzle solving all the way through to figure out like how are you going to make a portal and get yourself from point A to point B. But it's it's a niche for people knowing it. It's not as well known as say Mario is or Minecraft is. Mortuary Assistant. You pointed that one. We pointed that one out. Who knows about that? I mean, there are tons of games out there, but I just don't feel that a lot of them are that well known. And I mean, you can introduce it, but it's a gamble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Just Dance seems like such a safe bet. Of what was that dance series of movies that came out like a decade ago?
Was it Freddie Banks Jr. or maybe I remember that? I don't know. Freddie Banks was earlier than that.
There was this like movie. This
Sing, but Sing was the animals singing, but
it was live action. There were like 4 or 5 of them. Hold on.
We can look it up, but I can move over to that screen.
What was it? Maybe I'll find it a little bit later, but yeah, right. There's this like it's such a safe bet basically because there's this series of Step Up. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Step Up.
Yeah. There's like 5 or 6 of them. Step Up, 1, 2, 3D. I don't know how you do 3D with that. Revolution and All In. Yeah. Oh, and then there's also a ton of those Honey movies too. Yeah, the
Street Fighter, like Braymore, the Street Fighter 2 animated movie was released to video. That was the biggest thing it had going against it. And of course, it was all over the news at that time when it was coming out that, you know, animated stuff is for kids. That was the American attitude back then. Street Fighter 2 animated movie, I wouldn't mind. I would go watch it in theaters if they re-released it, but the sentiment wasn't there for it.
Mm-hmm. And they did they did so well in like recreating exactly what that was, right? Like that animated movie was for the fans.
It was
by fans for the fans, and they knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they did, more or less. So I'm off the list, but that was it. I mean, yeah, I liked it, especially for that last part with Raul Julia, and it was Raul Julia's last movie.
Mm-hmm.
Before he left us. But yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme chose to do Street Fighter instead of Mortal Kombat. But
yeah, what a meme worthy movie that was.
Yeah,
When Zangief and what's his name, Zangief and E Honda are fighting, and they're smashing through the miniature city, and they've got the Godzilla in the background, and then the two guys look at like Vega and I think it's like Vega and Balrog look at each other like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised, but I'm kind of not, because on one hand, you have things that have been around for a long time, like Super Mario Brothers, but on the other, they're also trying to get things that are selling well now, like Tsushima, and get a movie out about it now before the hype declines. Does that make sense? That's perhaps my favorite line from M. Bison right there.
It was Tuesday. What a great line. Yeah, Castlevania not being on that list makes sense because they just got done going through the series, and there's no reason to make a movie because Netflix already has such broad appeal, and the Castlevania series, the first, like, I know a lot of people are like, yeah, it's Castlevania, it's good. It's like, no, it's not, and I know this. We know this is true because seasons 3 and 4 are hyped by tourists who are not fans, and it has no broad appeal outside of the games at this point because Nocturne went nowhere, as we both know, and they haven't even announced a third series for Castlevania, so we know it's going nowhere. It's probably DOA at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially since DMC was apparently a flash in the pan, like, poof, it's here. Everyone hates it, and then it died immediately. So,
like, did it drop down to the ranking on the views pretty fast?
As far as I know, because I haven't seen it, but what little discourse I have heard, because I don't really watch anyone else. What little discourse I have heard is that it's like universally hated, with the exception of, again, those tourist fans who think that it's great because reasons. No one likes Lady because she won't stop cursing. Like every other other word in her mouth is just an F-bomb for no good reason. The demons in the movie, the demons in the show are not demons. They are Middle Eastern refugee stand-ins, and the big evil US military went in to slaughter them because Christianity bad, basically. It's the orcs from Rings of Power all over again.
Yeah,
as far as I'm aware, it was flash in the pan. Pretty much everyone, including the fans, hated it, and the only people that are praising it are tourists who have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, going back to the beginning, the thing that was really, really cringe was how the this goes back to the I'll go back to the early slide here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you. I'm going to talk about the real cringe thing on handling customers. So right here, the maker of Borderlands 4 literally said, "You don't have $80? I used to," and he even went to back. He even went to saying that Star Fantasy on Sega Genesis was $80 back in the day, and people looked up. It is not $80 unless he's saying adjusted for inflation. But even then, I'm not sure. But he was just saying to the customers that they were wrong for being mad that everyone's going by the $80 to $100. And I'm saying $80 to $100 because when you include the DLC for many of these games, it will add up to 15 to 20 more bucks on top of the vanilla cost.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm disappointed that the Switch 2 games are going to be $80. Although they offer the game technically costs less if you buy it in the pack with Switch 2 plus Mario Kart in the same deal. You spend less that way.
Yeah, but it's a game key card. It's not even the game. And you need the key card to access the game that you download from Nintendo in the first place. So it's like, why are we spending $80 on a key card to grant access to the game and then still need that key card to access the game on the system after we download it?
Yeah.
Like, you don't own it. You don't own the system. You don't own the game. You don't own anything. That's why they're able to remotely brick the system if you try to mod it in any way, shape, or form. It's psychotic. Like, I don't know what the hell Nintendo is thinking here.
Well, they're doing a lot of what Microsoft used to do, but worse. I mean, Microsoft had their hard drive soldered, even with the first Xbox. So basically, if you don't know what you're doing and you try to cut that soldering carelessly, your system's gone. That's it.
Yeah.
So they soldered it to make sure people wouldn't like open it up or modify it. But that's in a way that's stupid. And even Apple computers doing it now, which is dumb, which is a dumb move on their part. I mean, the big thing that people liked about Apple computers is you could upgrade them, take old RAM out, and it was easy to do that. Now you have soldering in it, like what Microsoft does to the Xbox consoles. When previously Apple was more consumer friendly, and they just said, "Hey, look, you can upgrade your RAM, you can upgrade your various system parts by replacing them. We'll sell you the parts. Upgrade it." And it's really cheaper to upgrade in the older days, it was cheaper for you to extend your Apple computer by upgrading it than to buy a new computer. So if you wanted to keep a computer going for, say, 6, 7, 8 years, upgrading it was cheaper than just getting 2 computers in 8 years. But now they do what Microsoft did with the Xbox, and they solder the hard drive.
Oof.
So if you don't know what you're doing in terms of getting through the soldering, you've pretty much broken your machine. It's gone. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Braymore, like Steam sells games that are like years old for cheap. And Borderlands 2 and 3 are old at this point. In fact, some PCs will have a problem even running it because it's before certain types of certain versions of direct media are out. So it's an older DirectX. So Borderlands 2 or Borderlands 3 might not run because you have a newer version of DirectX. But they had like over a decade without Borderlands, so they're trying to reignite the hype now. And Marathon is possibly worse because they're trying to reignite hype for it when it was a rather niche first-person shooter that got put in the dust by Bungie's later Halo games. Yeah, I mean, they can brick your system. Well, it's a sad extension of what has been done with consoles for a long time. I mean, I wish I could, in a simple world, you just say, look, if you tried to upgrade your machine and you didn't know what you're doing, well, you lost your machine. Otherwise, you do it according to directions and it should be okay. But I guess we don't have people like you used to have for older Apple computers where you know how to switch your RAM chips in and out. Other than that, let's get a little happier then. So otherwise, besides the storm of video game movies coming up.
Yeah, good Lord. It hurts. It hurts my brain.
Let's go on what's coming up. So I'm going to be having some recast episodes because I am out for the start of June. But otherwise, we're going to have fun talking about classic Doom.
Yeah.
So classic Doom, yeah. I mean, Braymore, it's buy one get one at a cheaper price. That's the whole idea. To get Switch 2, you buy a game with it, and the total price is lower than if you bought the Switch 2 and the game individually. So previously we talked about what the Castlevania 3D collection could it be. We're just going to be talking about classic Doom and having a fun rant next week.
Yeah.
I'll be playing Ocarina of Time later today, and Albeleo will be playing classic Doom later today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
hopefully, I will get around to that later tonight. It seems like I've got XSplit working, so we'll see about that.
good luck.
And I don't know if I'm going to get that G20 video out today. Probably tomorrow because of the delay on everything after stuff that happened yesterday.
Well, you can't really make me that way because I was a late bloomer. I got the Switch last year. It's new. It's relatively new to me. I mean, buying a whole new console, not yet. I'm waiting on that. But
I'm just glad that people told me yesterday that Prime 4 will be on the Switch 1.
Well, that's good. That's good news.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like the only thing I buy from Nintendo for years to come at this point, which is really sad. But at least it's Prime 4.
I mean, we ought to do a live stream later to explain like search on how you go shopping for games, because some people have been asking me about that, and I just want to answer that. But that'll be after June, after the start of June. So we're going to talk about whatever happened to Classic Doom, and I'll be doing some polls on my thing to say like what do you want to have a recap on for video, because that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to have a recap of previous live streams. It'll be a collection to be different from when you saw the live stream happen. So it'll be like I've done previously. It'll be 2 live streams, 1 video.
Mm-hmm.
So should be good. Hey everyone, and any other news?
No, not really. I'm planning on doing Legacy of Rust's 2nd episode tonight to complete Classic Doom, and then start Doom 64 probably tomorrow. G20 review will probably come out tomorrow because of how delayed I got for a lot of things. And yeah, that's it on my end right now.
All right. Well, everyone, hope you had a nice time. See you next week, and until we meet again, farewell.
Yep. Have a good day, everybody.